Hey everybody, Jim Malone here, coming to you live on Dallas Trading Floor. It is a Thursday, January 14th, and some exciting news for everybody on TikTok. We just passed 50,000 followers on TikTok, so thanks for everybody watching us, and hopefully we'll be at 100,000 here pretty quick, but thanks so much for the support. I so appreciate it. And, we're getting bigger every day. So that's pretty exciting. So let's kind of get into the slides here. And this is basically the market direction. We are currently in a confirmed uptrend. The NASDAQ is moving up nicely, 37.12. And it's currently at 13,166.07. And the stimulus pass looks like it is passed. It's a $2 trillion stimulus bill. So that seems to be doing good things for the Dow Jones. As you can see, the Dow Jones Industrial Index is up 0.14% at 31,104.37. Now, the key level, of course, on that is the $30,000 mark, and we're definitely there. So pretty exciting. That's looking good for some of the stocks. It's interesting, and I'll show you this in just a second. It seems to be much more broad in terms of the overall right now. It seems to be much more broad. Not only the FANGs, but some of the other things are participating in this. Just want to show you this very interesting IBD trip poll, and this is the economic optimism index, and it's kind of interesting. And it definitely has. It was. During the impeachment period, it looks like it moved down a little bit, of course, but now it seems like hopefully it's moving up as maybe hopefully we get a resolve on some of those things. But December and January, it seems to be moving up. Currently, in January, we're up 2.2% at 50.1%. Now, what does that mean, of course? Well, that means basically that we have about a 50-50 split on the economic optimism. It's not quite as high as it was last year. It's pulled back, because of the financial situation and some of the impeachment things, but it's hopefully trending up. So that's my hope, of course, is that that will move up. Now, interestingly enough, we're finding that this is a very broad-based, very broad-based recovery. It's not really recovery, but broad-based optimism, and it's going to the NASDAQ composite more so than it has been in the past. In the past, the QQQs, which represent the top 100 stocks, the NASDAQ 100, have been getting most of the love, but now it seems like it's more broad-based. It's up $38.30 today, or 0.29. So that's pretty strong. We do have some nice, we have some nice bars there, showing that indeed we have some good activity going on there. The S&P 500 is down a little bit though, and of course that's a broader index, so it's sort of a mixed bag. It seems to be going mostly to some of the it seems to be mostly going to the mid stocks, and I want to kind of show you a few other things on that as well. So we're off a little bit on the S&P 500. We're up on the NASDAQ composite, and we're off a little bit on the Qs. Also wanted to show you the Qs, and of course they're down a tad, as we said before. The key level on this is about 300, between 275 and 300. We're above that, but we're off a little bit. So what this tells us is that there is some of the big money is moving away from some of the big cap tech stocks, the FANG stocks, the Amazons, the Apples, and those things, and moving into more of the smaller mid issues. So that's kind of an interesting thing that chart tells us. I just want to give you a look at my current holdings. I'm in Blink Charging. It's up again today. It's just amazing. I did have to sell one of my positions based on due to a option that I sold, the 35 option that was exercised today. It's actually due tomorrow, and I do have another option on that. I'm trying to find another place to get in to Blink Charging, but that's just done really great. We've had it since a few months, and we really moved it up from about $11-12 on the way up. Now it's in 50, so that's pretty good. Also, Progeny looks to be doing good. It's slow and steady, wins the race. It's up 1.47. Tesla's pulled back a little bit. When this slide was taken, it was 847.15. It's trading in a range. Tesla seems to be in a trading range from about 795 up to about 880. So that seems to be the range for Tesla. And of course, I do have quite a few positions in Tesla, and I've been buying them since about 680. That was sort of my key to start moving back into Tesla. 10x Genomics is set up really well. Again, I always, when they work like this, I always wish I have more of them, but that's moving up nicely. It's up $5.11 today, or about 2.91%. So that's looking good. I have an option play, as I indicated before, on Amazon, and if you're interested in taking a look at that, you can jump over to the website. Not the website, but at the YouTube channel at youtube.com/DallasTradingFloor. And it's a vertical put spread on Amazon. That's the title of it. So if you want to see how I kind of went into that stock. A new issue for me, yesterday was GM. That's moving up nicely, 5.30%. It just passed a major milestone. Again, I'm probably building a position in this. Currently, it's at 51.31. And then I took kind of a flyer. This is a sort of a more high-risk trade. I did go into Yatsen Holdings, which is a cosmetics company, symbol YSG. It's up a little bit today too, about actually 12%. It's up 12%. I did buy it at the breakout. The buy point on that was 21, and I'm in it at about right about the breakout for it. It's moving up. The current price 21.28. So that's all looking pretty good on that front. So let's get back into some of the questions here. Let's see if we can take a question from YouTube. Thanks for waiting. Hey Jim, just bought CRISPR CRSR at 43. It's down a little bit today. What are your thoughts? Let's take a look at CRISPR. I like CRISPR a lot because I think this is a tremendous area, but it's biotechs can be tough to play. CRSPSR, I think that's CRISPR Therapeutics. Yeah, let's look at it. Yeah, no, I'm sorry, Corsair Gaming. Apologize. Corsair. I was thinking about another stock. Apology. And that's CRISPR Therapeutics. It's down a little bit, but it's 47. It's up 2.440. That's on the week. Let's look at the daily chart. It's pulling back. It's pulling back to that. It's pulling back to the 21-day line there, but it still has a relative strength of 96. It is pointing down. We do have a sell-off going on. Here's the thing. I would probably set a stop loss right at about the 40-day line, which is a 50, which is a 35. I wouldn't let it move any more down than that. But I still think it's got some very good chops. 7 out of 9 on the smell test, so that's very good. We have a lot of funds in it, 87 funds, and that's an increasing number of funds. So looking good. And one of the things I like here is the Fidelity Country Fund. This is sort of my good housekeeping seal of approval. So my thought is I would hang on to it, but I would place a stop loss in probably, no further down than about 35. That's at the 40. That's at the 40-day moving average. That's probably where you want to draw your line in the sand, because at that level, I think you're going to get, your best. Your best bang for the buck. You're going to let the stock have some room to run, but also you're going to protect yourself. So that's kind of what I think about Corsair Gaming. And again, it's been pretty hot. I still think it still has a pretty good chart pattern. I would make sure that I cover my losses if I'm in a situation like that. Stop loss at about 35 would probably be the best for that. Thoughts on Fiverr and Emphy? Let's look at Fiverr first. I really like Upwork and Fiverr. They're kind of sort of in the same sort of task industry, and it seems to be really good. I was shaken out of Fiverr because when I went into it, I put in a very tight stop loss. So that was essentially that got me shaken out. But I really like the business model a lot. Here's the chart of Fiverr. It's got a 99 relative strength, and that is just, that is tremendous. 99. It just seems like it's running up that 50-day line. It's a 50-day, by the way, on the weekly chart, and it's a 40-day on the daily. It's running right up that line. It's pulled up nicely. Let's just see it. The sales just keep on coming, and we have a very nice funds in this 163 in December. So that's looking pretty darn good all the way around. 37% fund ownership. Now, one thing I always like to talk about here is fund ownership. It's the funds going into an issue that make it move up. We, as individual investors, we just don't have the market power to make a stock move like that. So we want to see that increasing fund ownership. That's very important there. Let's take a look at the smell test. It's 8 out of 9. That is excellent. So it definitely passes on that. The only thing it doesn't pass on is earnings per share of 80 or better. Well, here's the thing. It is, not yet. It is not yet profitable, as we can see. But on a growth stock, it's the sales increases are what you really want to look at. The sales increases, and also the number of funds that are going into it. Let's see if there's any place that we can buy this thing, or what can we do here. Unfortunately, we don't really have a consolidation here. Basically this thing took off after it went through 228.49 on the price. After it went beyond that, it kind of went up. Now here's the thing. I think we may be getting a second chance. It may pull back to about 250. That might provide sort of an intermediate place that you could buy it. Now, what do I mean by that when it pulls back? Well, when it pulls back, you don't want to buy it as it's moving down, but then as it reverses, that's where you want to consider buying it, because you always want to buy an uptrend. We have some nice volume bars here, so this is looking very good. Here's the thing: I would be careful on this one. I would be very careful. If I was in this one currently, I would set my stop loss at 254. And the reason for that is because that's the very bottom of the candle for today. So 254 on the stop loss if you're already in it. If you're not, I think you've got to kind of wait. You've got to kind of watch this one a little bit. I do think it'll give us another chance to buy it. Right now, we can't really buy it. It's too far extended, so we can't really buy this one. But if we're going to put in a stop loss and we're already in the stock, 254 is a good place to possibly look at putting the stop loss in. Now, why do I set the stop losses up? Well, because if these do pull back and do reverse course and do move lower, we capture the profit. Remember, that's the game here. We're not in love with any of these stocks. We're just trying to capture the profit as it moves up. So that's the most important thing to remember here. Let's look at IMFI, IPHI. That's a good that's a good one, Luciano. Lucio is IMFI. This is a chip maker. It's in the 5G space, and I had this numerous times. I just couldn't, I was at a different place. It wasn't moving as much as I would like it to. Seems to be kind of on the move now, so that's a good thing. There was a buy point on the flat base buy point at 157.10. It's currently at 171, so it's a little bit extended above the buy zone. Can we buy this? Well, here's the thing. It looks as if we could probably have to wait for it to pull back, and maybe if it pulls back to 164.50, that's the 10-day line. If it pulls back to that and reverses, then we could possibly get into it. Unfortunately, we're probably going to have to watch this one, just because it's a little bit extended, and that can cause problems. It's still a great stock. Relative strength on this one is 84, so that's excellent. And we do have increasing sales, which is excellent. We have 66% fund ownership in this one, so that's also very, very strong. And we have healthy cash flow. So this just really just kind of, this kind of checks all the boxes here. It's got 100% checklist on this one. So even though I'm saying watch this one, you could start to nibble at this one, even though it's extended, because it's so strong in terms of everything. This is an excellent, this is an excellent stock. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the watch list, IPHI, and I'm going to watch list that stock because there may be another chance to get into that one. And by the way, if you're interested in possibly looking at at the watch list that I try to put together on sort of a daily basis. It's super easy to do. All you have to do is go to www.dallastradingfloor.com and then just subscribe to the action trade alerts, and then there's also another little box in the lower left-hand corner where you can subscribe to the small portfolio and get a link to that. So first and last name and email address, and you'll be on that list for the watch list as well. So, and I'm going to be improving that essentially for the TikTok viewers. If you want to get quickly to any of the things that I'm talking about today on TikTok, super easy to do. Just go to my profile, hit that link, and that gives you a little menu on what you can do there on TikTok. So if you want to go, for instance, if you're looking on TikTok right now and you want to see some of the charts I'm putting up, super easy to do. Just go to my profile, hit that link. You'll see a YouTube box. Just hit that, and it's the live YouTube feed. So that could be kind of a good way to go there as well. All right, so let's see. What's thought about Snap, SNAP? Let's look at Snap really quick, SNAP. Let's look at this one to see kind of what we're talking about here. I'm going to look at the daily. I'm going to look at the weekly chart here first, just because that is going to give us kind of an idea of trend. The trend's excellent on this one. We this is the first thing that you check, by the way, when you're checking into a stock, is you look to the trend. And as you can see, we have an upward trending chart, which is very, very good. We always want to try to buy on an upward trending chart. So that's a very good thing. We also have a very strong relative strength at 96, like that. That means that this is in the top 4% of all stocks out there. Snap, S-N-A-P, of course, is the symbol. We have increasing sales. That's excellent. And we have extremely good fund ownership in this one at 45%, or 942 funds are in this one currently. So Snap is looking very good. Now the question is, can we buy it? Well, unfortunately, the last buy point on this one was a consolidation base, and you won't believe this. It was way back. It was 1836. Currently, Snap is at 49. So where do we buy this thing? Well, I do think that we may have an opportunity to buy it if it reverses off of this 40-day line at about 48.95. Now the question is, so we're very close to that. Here's the thing: I would not buy this right now because it is a little bit extended, and we have a downward trend. But what you can do when it reverses is to set a buy stop limit order, and the buy stop limit order, and I explain this in some of the videos that are on YouTube.com. Basically, is an automatic way to get in on to have buy it as it's moving higher. So it's so hard to buy it as it's moving higher, but you can use this buy stop limit order. And if I were doing this buy stop limit order, I would set it right above where it is now at basically. It basically 51 is where I would probably buy this one. So buy stop limit order at 51 on Snap, that may work well for you. That may work well for you at about 51. But you want to get it right now. It's trading at 49.44. If it moves higher on volume, then I think that 51 would be probably a pretty good place to buy it on a buy stop limit order. Now, here's the thing: I wouldn't buy more than a half position going in, but I do think the Snap is worthwhile, and might make a very good play. So let's look at VALE. That's another question from YouTube. So let's look at VALE. VALE is Vale. It's an ADR. It's a Brazilian company. And it's in a mining company, and I do like some of the mining companies. The mining companies have been getting some love, definitely, as of late. So let's take a look at this one. We're looking at the weekly chart first. There was a buy point on a consolidation base at $12.15 back about a month or so ago. It since then has moved up strongly since then, and it's moving right up to the 21-day line. Currently, it's at 1888. The question is it viable? Well, we do have some we kind of look at some of the things that are going on here. First of all, we have a very nice increase in sales. I'm liking that. We have very strong fund ownership in here at 502 funds. 13% approximately of it is held there. We do have positive cash flow, and that is good for a mining company. Well, I don't want to see a negative on a mining company. 86 relative strength, so that's definitely acceptable. Let's look at the checklist. The checklist is 7 out of 9 on this one, so that's quite good. And let's look at the ownership again. It is increasing, and we definitely like to see that. So the question is, how does it stack up in terms of the industries? Well, it is number 5, and that is very good because right now there is a movement. There's what they call a rotation going on, and the rotation is going from some of the tech names, the big tech names like Apple, Amazon, and names like that, and it's moving into the more basic cyclical industries such as mining, and this is definitely in the mining camp. Is it the most powerful mining company? No, it is not. But the stock that I also recommend in this space is Freeport-McMoRan FCX. I was in the stock, but I was shaken out. I still think it's a good stock. It doesn't have quite as high a relative strength as this one. So all in all, this is looking quite strong. And the question is it viable, and where can we buy it? So let's take a look. It does look like there is, unfortunately, we've kind of missed our opportunity to buy it, bouncing off this 10-day line because it is up today. But typically what you want to do is buy it as it's bouncing off this 10-day line. The ideal place to have bought this today would have been on the reversal from yesterday, about there. It would have been about 1820. It's 1889. Could you buy this thing? Yes, you can. But just be forewarned, if you do buy it at this level, you want to set your stop loss much tighter than you normally would. Instead of a 7% stop loss, you want to set a 2.5% or 3% stop loss because you may be wrong on this one. Looks like we're consolidating right about this level, and it has the potential to go higher. So it's a very good stock. I just can't recommend going into it right now. It's just a little bit shy of a proper buy point. So I do appreciate all of that. So let's take a look at some of the at some of the TikTok questions. Thanks for and thanks to everybody for being in there. I have an Ethan. He can Tokis, I think that's it. He's one who looks at space. This is Virgin Galactic. This I haven't been into this since the first quarter of last year. I did make some very good money, but I haven't been able to find a place to get back into it. It's gapping up once again. So here it is. Let's take a look at the weekly chart first. The weekly chart. Okay, so there was a buy point on this one on a second stage cup at 27.55. It's currently at 33.13. It's up $7.91 today. So that is terrific. The question is, where could you get into this thing again? It's only got a relative strength of 77, and it unfortunately is not profitable, but this is kind of a special company. There are 200 funds in this one, so that's pretty tremendous. It does, of course, it is making a loss, obviously, because they haven't really gotten in. So this is highly speculative stock. Earnings for this stock are basically in 225, so we're still far enough out from the earnings where you might be able to get into this. Here's the thing: I would watch this one and wait and see if it pulled back to the buy point at 27.55. That is your buy point on it, so you probably want to wait for it to pull back to that. Let's look at the checklist. The checklist is pretty terrible. It's 4 out of 9. So here's the thing: this is a highly speculative play. You can make money on this one. Here's the thing: I would wait for a pullback and then possibly a reversal. If we have that, then that might make sense. But right now, I don't think you want to be in it. It's probably a watch list. That's how I would play it, anyways. That's how I would play this one. So let's look at Qualcomm, and I do think Qualcomm is in a breakout. By the way, that's QCOM. QCOM is the symbol on that, and that's a semiconductor company. And they've done some great stuff. They're very heavy in the 5G space, and a lot of the other companies like Imphy are kind of the competitors. But let's see if we do have a breakout. I'm going to be looking at the daily chart on this one. So let's look at the daily chart real quick here to see. It isn't really a breakout because the former high is 161.07. It's at 161.02. So we're right at, essentially, you definitely could buy it at this level. You definitely can buy this one at this level. Let's take a look and see. Yeah, boy, look at that. It's got an 8 out of 9 on that checklist, so that's very good. The funds are tremendous in this. 3,003 funds in this, and of course, Fidelity Contra funds. So this is really, really looking quite good. Let's look at the weekly chart to see sort of if there's any place that we can sort of nibble at this. Well, we absolutely can buy this. The pivot on this is 161.07, and we're basically right at the pivot. So here's what I would do. I would wait until it went to about 162, and then I would be a buyer. But Qualcomm, QCOM, buy point is equal to, and I'm going to put this out there on the chat. Let's see. Okay, is 161.07. 161.07, 161.07. So we're very, very close to that. I'm going to put that out there to everybody on the chat. By the way, if you're looking on TikTok and you want to see these chats and that kind of thing that I'm putting out to people on YouTube, super easy to do. Just go to my profile, hit the link, and you will see a box that has the YouTube feed. You can just press on that and see all the chat on the YouTube. Unfortunately, I can't put them all together into one stream, but that's a good way to get it. So let's take a look at YouTube again. Here we go. Okay, Neo. Okay, let's look at Neo. This is a question from Body Moving Brandon on TikTok. So let's look at Neo. NIO, and of course, this is a Chinese EV company, and they've done very good. They have an agreement to import their vehicles into Europe, so they're pretty strong when it comes to distribution too. There's a lot of EV players in China, some good, some not so good. This is probably one of the better ones. Currently, it's at 60.90, which is up 1.58, which is just amazing when you consider. Let's look at the daily chart on it to see kind of what's going on here. There was a buy point, and it's moved past the buy point. It's a little bit extended, and it's pulling back. But here's the thing. The buy point on this one, let it pull back a little bit and then see if there's a reversal. I think that would be the way to buy this one. Right now, you're going to have to watch this one. But there is a buy point at 57.20. Currently, we're at 60.91. So here's what I would do. I would wait for it to pull into the buy zone. Currently, it's extended above the buy zone, so I would want to watch this one. So I don't know if you can see this or not on the chart, but the buy point, and let me put that out there. The Neo buy point is equal to basically 57.20. And then what does that mean? Well, that means that this is technically in a buy range. If you take 57.20 and multiply it times 1.05, that gives you a 5% zone to buy it in. You could buy it at this level. It's not a good idea, though, to buy it as it's pulling back. Currently, as this show is being made, it is pulling back. So here's the thing. Watch this one. See if it reverses higher. If it reverses higher, then you can possibly buy this one. Right now, though, it's a watch list. Still very, very good stock. It's got some very good ratings. Let's take a look at the ratings on it just to kind of check up everything. It's 8 out of 9 on the smell test, so that is excellent. And the number of funds they've been continuing to push into this one. So here's the thing. Neo is buyable if it reverses off of the buy point at 57.20. So definitely watch this one right now. And I'm going to put Neo on the watch list. And then if it reverses, then we possibly have a good buy into Neo. But Neo has formed a base and maybe going higher. So that is a good thing to look at. All right, let's look at Tata. Tata Motors, of course. Tata is one of the biggest industrial groups in India. And, they have all kinds of things. Let's see if we can get Tata, T-A-T-A. I'm not sure that it's listed in New York. Let's see if we can get something with Tata Group. Here, thanks, Christian. Appreciate that very much. I am not pulling up anything right now on Tata. Let me see if I can get back to you on Tata Group. I don't know if it is, I don't think it's listed in New York. That's the problem. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to punt on that one. I'm going to maybe do a little bit more research on that one. Okay, so let's go back to any thoughts on BYND up 10% today? Is BABA a buy? Well, we can take a look at BABA. Here's the thing about BABA. Alibaba has been sort of under a cloud. I want to show you the chart on BABA, and I think it's worth looking at because we still have a downward trend on the chart. Let's go to the weekly to take a look. Yeah, we still have a downward trend on BABA. It looks like it may be making a bounce here. It may be making a bounce here, but this relative strength is just terrible at 6. So here's the thing with BABA. I think that BABA was great this summer. I don't think, Nick, BABA is so great right now. So it really isn't a buy. You don't want to buy it you don't want to catch a falling knife, as they say. BABA is pulling back. I don't think you want to be in it right now. That's basically basically my take on that. BYND, I think this is Beyond Meat, if I'm not mistaken. BYND, Beyond Meat. Yeah, Beyond. Okay, Beyond, it looks like it's bounced off the 200-day, so let's look at it. Yes, it definitely has bounced off the 200-day. It pulled beyond the 200-day average. That's this black line here that you can see. It's got a 19 relative strength. With a stock like this, I mean, yes, again, this is an example of a stock that was good this summer. It was really great this summer. I was in it in the summer. And then it hit its peak right here at about 230, and it's sort of been trying to gain strength ever since. And basically, the last buy point of this is 167. It's currently at 142. I don't think you want to buy this. You don't want to try to buy them below the buy point, below the last buy point. You just don't want to do it. You want to buy a stock going high, high going higher. So I just think you have to eliminate Beyond Meat on your list. It just isn't set up correctly to probably benefit from it. So I wouldn't buy Beyond Meat either. So BABA and Beyond Meat, I just don't think. I think their time is gone. It's come and gone, and that's just how it is. And sometimes great companies come back, but right now I don't think you want to be in Beyond Meat. Hi Jim, please see the V chart. Okay, so this is Visa. Again, this is another. The financials. Maybe there may be some rotation into financials, but this is sort of a very different play. This is a long-term play, and it doesn't have a very good relative strength. The relative strength on this one is 30, which is just not good. They're decreasing sales. This is Visa here. It's because of the pandemic, but still decreasing sales. We still have a ton of funds in it, but let's look at the checklist here. It doesn't have a good checklist. 4 out of 9. I like to see 6 out of 9. So, I would just have to pass on Visa. I don't even think this is a watch list. Now, if you want to be in the financial area, and I know that, a lot of people want to be in the financial area, but I would recommend something that has more likelihood of success. And there is a stock called Green Dot, GDOT is the symbol on that one. I don't own it, but it does have a much better, it does have a much better look than Visa does. You can see it's got a relative strength of 78 here, which is much better than Visa's. It also has increasing fund ownership. This is a play on this is a prepaid credit card play. These people do well in recessionary times. We're going to come into a recessionary time. Unfortunately, a lot of people in this country are getting poorer, and that is the case. But it's pulled back. I think you might get a reversal off of this one. If this reverses, then it might be good. But right now, it's definitely watch list. I wouldn't recommend Visa, and I would watch list Green Dot. But the whole area, the whole financial area, is somewhat under pressure right now. So that may not be the best place to be. All right, let's take a quick question from Neo. I mean, not from Neo, from TikTok. Now, the thing about Neo and Beyond Meat, Unity. Now, Unity, every stock has its season. Unity's looking pretty good. I was looking at Unity this morning. Unity Software, symbol U. It's pulled back, but it looks like it may be reversing. So let's take a look at Unity real quick here. I'm looking at the weekly chart. It just had this tremendous, it's on the IPO, it just had this tremendous movement up, and then it's pulled back a little bit, a little bit, but relative strength of 92, very good, and it has strength when it comes to, when it comes to those earnings. So that's looking very good. Let me see if I can get the pin here. For some reason, the draw tools are not working as well as I would like. So let me see if I can get the markups to come back here. Okay, so hopefully this was working. Yeah, there we go. So 92 on the relative strength. And let's kind of look at the smell test on Unity. 88%. This is great. 8 out of 9. So I'm definitely liking this one. Let's look at the ownership. We have Wells Fargo Growth in there, 211 funds in there. So that's looking good. And of course, we have this nice increasing, increasing sales here. Definitely a good thing. It's still losing money, 45 cents a share, but we do have a nice growth on the sales. Of course, this software is used to manufacture other games, so it's kind of got a wide base, and it's got a pretty stable user base. Let's look at the chart here on the daily to see if there's anywhere we can buy it. Now, the ultimate place, of course, to buy it would have been of this pullback to the 40-day line. It pulled back, and then it bounced. This is one of my favorite ways to buy something, is when you see a stock like this that's gone up so much, and then it starts to pull back and it bounces off that 40-day. That can be a good place. Can we buy it at this level? Well, we can, but it's extended. It still has. It looks like it has some room to run from about 155. It's currently at 150. So it could run up as high as 174 as long as this reversal is held. It doesn't look like it, though, because if you look at this green line, that's the 21-day exponential. It looks as if we had a pullback to that. Now, there may be a reversal. If there is a reversal and this thing starts heading higher tomorrow, we might be able to buy Unity Software. But right now we have to watch list it. What you could do on this one is to set a buy stop limit order on this one, and the buy stop limit order, you would probably want to set it, I believe, at, let's see if I can give it a good answer to you this about 155 would be about at 155. So if I were going to buy this one and I'm not in it currently, I would possibly looking to buy this at with a buy stop limit order at 155 if it's moving higher. So only try to buy it as it's moving higher. The buy stop limit order at 155 might do that trick for you, but don't go in with any more than about a half position on this one, because it's not an actual base, and so that may be somewhat of an issue there. So that's but Unity Software, I do like that one. Looking pretty good on that. Pretty good on that one. All right, let's go to the question on Tesla, one of my favorite topics. Hi, Jim. Can you look into Tesla? Is it a good time to buy now or wait for a pullback? Well, I always like to wait for a pullback and then a reversal off that pullback. But let's look at the Tesla chart right now to see. I do think Tesla's going to go higher, if that's at all possible. It's just been such a winner. And, winners keep on being winners until they aren't. And right now, Tesla's a winner. But it did pull back a little bit today, 35. So it's at 845. It seems to be within a range. So let's look at that 60-minute chart to kind of see. Yeah, the range on Tesla seems to be in this tight pattern right here from about I would say about 830 on up, and the top is right about 880. So it seems to be within this channel here. I do think if there's a reversal, let's wait on this. If there's a reversal at about I would say at about 835. If it pulls back below 835, then and it reverses, then we want to buy some more. But right now, I think we're going to wait, let it pull back to below 835, and then it reverses above 835. I think you could buy it again. But that's a really good question, and I actually may be adding to my stock of Tesla as well, because it probably will move above 900. The question is when, and I think that's probably going to be hopefully in the first quarter. So I'm holding a fair number of positions in Tesla right now, and I do think it is going to move higher. So that's a really good question. Jim, thoughts on BG? Let's look at BG here for K. Thomas. Thank you very much for watching today. BG is the symbol, and that is Bunge Limited. So I don't know much about this company. They process grains and oil seeds. Okay, so it's kind of like Cargill in that way. I didn't know the company, but I do like the fact that it's a rotation out of tech into kind of a more cyclical stock. That's very good. Let's look at the weekly to see kind of, what's going on here. Yeah, look at that, 79. We're almost to the point. I typically like to buy at 80 or better, but this is a beautiful run here as we're seeing. Not a really good place to buy it, I can see, with a base pattern. We do have some falling sales, but it looks like that's turning, so that is good. Let's look at the smell test, 77, so that's definitely buyable in terms of the smell test. We have 1,010 funds in it, so that's excellent. And we have very nice cash flow, as you can see. This is very, very nice cash flow, considering the price level. 48% funds in this, very strong fund ownership. So those are all very, very positive. Let's look at the daily chart to see if we can find anything there. Well, it looks as if there's a tad bit of a consolidation. It's really kind of really small here. I think this thing is probably a watch list at this point. I wouldn't buy it necessarily today because this is not really breakout. Let's see if it pulls back to about 70 and then reverses. And if it pulls back to 70 and then reverses, we could buy it very, very easily. I do like this one. I'm not a buyer of this one right now. I would watch list this one. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to put this down on my watch list because you've been picking out some very good, very, very good ones for the watch list. So this is a good one. Thank you very much, Kay, for that suggestion. All right, so let's look at some next from TikTok. HVBTF. I don't know what HVBTF. That's original monkey parts on TikTok. So let's take a look to see what that is. I don't know what that is offhand. HVBTF. So let's see if I can. Well, HVB, TF. Well, unfortunately, that's not showing as a symbol. So it may be a stock that I don't have coverage on. It may be on a pink slip and not trade on the major exchanges, the NASDAQ, the New York, or that. So unfortunately, I can't give you a price on that one just because I don't have a quote. I can't quote it, and I can't look at the chart. All right, so let's look at, okay. Oh, thoughts on YSG. Thank you, Mr. Singh. I bought this one today in one of my in the small portfolio. Let's look at let's look at this one. YSG is one of the ones I bought this morning. So this is a cosmetics company, kind of interesting. Nice chart on it. This is an IPO base where we start out and then it kind of does this kind of little cupping thing, and then it goes. Now if you notice, it's got a 19 relative strength, and you think, well, why would you, Jim? You are saying buy an 80 or better. Well, remember, this is for the entire year, and this hasn't been out a year. It's basically only been out a little bit of more than a month and a half. So if they haven't been out a full year, you can really kind of discount this RS rating because it's for a year, and it typically is over a year. So let's look at the sales. We definitely have some increase on the sales, which I'm definitely liking. We also have 42 funds in it right out of the gate, and believe it or not, we actually have a positive cash flow. Only 1% are funds in here right now, so that's a little bit of an issue here. But one of the things I do like about the skincare cosmetics area, it tends to be highly profitable, and if you can get the sales, usually you can make the profit in this business. Let's look at the checklist. The checklist is 55. Now, normally, I want to see a better checklist than this. Part of the reason this is 55 and we're not seeing the whole thing is because this is an IPO and it hasn't been out a quarter. So this is acceptable. And I did move into this one as well. So 42 funds were in it in December. So let's see kind of what's happening. Now, the buy point on this one, on YSN, was 21. I came in today at almost right at the buy point. So the buy point on this one, and let me just put that out there on the chat. This is a first stage cut buy point at $21 even. So let me put out the buy point on this YSG. Buy point is equal to $21. I got that in there. Yeah, there it is. And I put that out there in the chat. So this is a little bit higher speculative, more speculative one. Don't go in with any more than about one full position. Now, I did go in with one full position in the small portfolio. Let's see how. I just want to see how we're doing on this one, and I'm going to pull that up here in just a second. I'm going to pull up the small portfolio. Let's take a look. I've sold out a lot of my positions, so this one is. I just have been starting to rebuild the small portfolio. I did some profit taking, but I still am. Yeah, we're up. Well, we're down 5 cents, $5. Okay, so this is as of this morning. Just want to kind of give you a look at the small portfolio, and hopefully it'll be up here in just a second. It's kind of want to see how that is. Yeah, on the small portfolio here, I did buy one full position. As you can see, I bought it at. I didn't remember exactly the price I bought it at, but my buy price on this was $21.45. It's currently $21.35, so almost even money, down about $5. We'll see how this one performs. I put my stop loss in 7% down from where I bought it, so at basically $19.94. So if it pulls below $19.94, I'm out of it. But hopefully, because it's coming off a base, it will move up. But quite a small position in this one, but kind of an interesting one. And I wouldn't go in. I wouldn't go in with all. I wouldn't go in with everything on this one, but this is one where you might be able to to do fairly well. So we'll see how it comes out. This is really I really did a pilot buy on this one. It's not really a core position. Buy point on Plug. Let's look at Plug really quickly. Okay, Plug. And the power area has been very good as of late. Boy, look at this thing. It's up $12. That is just phenomenal. And, of course, I wasn't in it. Well, that is, my fault. Look at that, 80%. Just really nice sales increases. The weekly chart is phenomenal. Let's look at the daily chart. Let's just see if there's anywhere to buy this. This is there's just isn't really a place to buy it. It's pulled back a little bit today at 66. The question is, where is it buyable? It looks like it's forming a little bit of a consolidation here. Not really a great place to buy it. Here's the thing about this. Earnings are in 12 days, so we're a little bit, we're a little bit tight into the earnings to buy this one. Here's the thing. There really is no buy point on this one, Jay. I'm sorry to say, there really is no buy point on this one because it's just moved up so quickly. So how can we do this? Well, here's the thing. I think you've got to watch list this one. And I'm definitely going to put it on the watch list. Plug. I think you've got to watch list this one. And I think you're going to have to wait until after earnings. And earnings on this on Plug is on the 26th. So we don't really want to buy this until after we come out with the earnings because that may pull it back tremendously. On the other hand, it may be it may move it up tremendously. Here's what I would recommend. Starting on the 27th, I would put a buy stop limit order in, possibly on this one if you wanted to get on this one. I'm going to set the alert on this, basically on this, and I'm going to kind of see where is that exactly. 72.75. So here's what I would do with this one. I do think this is, it's probably worth taking a little bit of a a risk on this one. And I do think that you could go in at 72.25 on the buy stop limit order. 72.25 on that buy stop limit order. That's how I would buy it, but I wouldn't buy it until the I wouldn't buy it until the 13th. I wouldn't buy it for 13 days. Remember, don't buy it into earnings. You want to wait for earnings to happen. If you do the buy stop limit order and it goes through earnings and it starts to gap up, you're going to capture that with the buy stop limit order. So here's the thing. Don't buy this. Put it on the watch list for a few days until it comes to earnings. Earnings are going to be on the 28th. I'm sorry. Yeah, the 26th of this month. So we don't want to buy it until the 27th. But on the 27th, you might want to consider putting in a buy stop limit order at about 72.25. So that might be a good place to buy it from there. So that is my kind of take on that. So next question. Let's see. All right. So hi, Jim. CRISPR is a CRSP is off to the races. I'm up significantly. Can you give me a range of where the trading in the near term? Cheers. Thanks. Okay, let's look at CRSP. CRSP. And that's CRISPR Therapeutics. This is one of my favorite companies, by the way. And I keep repeating it again and again. And here I am, not in it. I want to be in it because I do think it's just the future. It's up a tremendous $16.22 today. Ouch. That's super excellent. Look at that. 96 on the relative strength. We do have some decreasing sales, but I love the fact that we have these increasing funds. Look at that. 316. So let's look at the smell test on it. I just always do this because it's so important. 6 out of 9, so it definitely meets our criteria there. But this is what I really want to show you is this number of funds. And we have all the good funds in there. So really, really good. The last buy point on this one, unfortunately, was way back at 105. It's currently 210. So it's double where it was. Let's look at the daily chart to see if there's any place that we could possibly buy this. It's going to be tough to buy. I'll be honest with you. This is going to be tough to buy because it looks as if it has moved above the intermediate high point at 206. Here's the thing, and here's the thing I would recommend for you on this one. A room full 100. I'd recommend moving your stop loss up. Currently, I would keep my today. I'd look to see where it's trading above that above the 10-day line. Currently, the 10-day line is at 176. So that's where I'd be setting my stop loss at 176, and I would just let this thing run because I think that this could eventually go much higher. But try to make a stand at the 10-day line. I think you'd be a winner at that line. Congratulations! It's an excellent stock, and I think you're going to do fantastic business with it. All right, let's look at TikTok once again for a question. Oh, hey, thanks. Thank you for sharing the live video. Always appreciate that. Average, okay, solar. Okay, let's see if I can give you something that is going to be actionable. Therm is rocketing because of 20. Okay. Okay. Well, there's probably the problem with the COVID test is there's a lot of people in it, so I'm not as bullish on those issues. They were very good, but over. It may be over time for that. Let's look at Uber. UBER. This is, it's funny. I heard some analysis on this. I heard somebody say, I normally take Lyft, but I want to buy Uber. Interesting thing. Uber moved about 3,000 people here to Dallas. They're doing a lot of their development work here down in a place called Deep Ellum, which is kind of interesting. It's pulled back a little bit today. It's at 56. So let's kind of look at it. It's pulled back about $2.49. It is, the relative strength is 89, so that's still excellent. But we have had a little bit of a sell-off here, back down to this important 5602 level. It's at 5691. So here's the thing: I would buy this if it reversed. This is definitely watch listable right now, but it looks like it's having a little bit of trouble at about the $60 level. Moving beyond that, the question is, where can we buy this thing? And it does look, if it reverses and it moves higher, we possibly could buy it. But right now, I'm afraid, and this is terrible, we're going to have to be watch listing this one because it just it's not set up right, but it's looking good on other things. 1,290 funds in this, so it's very, very strong. But I would not buy this one currently. I'd be a watch list on this one. Let's look at form factor, FORM, and I did very well in form factor earlier this year, and I haven't been back in, but let's see if we can see with form, FORM, and this company makes the dies for ICs, so it's a very good. And look at that! Wow, it's just pulled. You know, it's funny when I sell them, it seems like they just continue to go up. Form factor at 49.45, 54, up $3.86 today. Wow. You know, I was really back here in the $27 level. It's doubled since then. You know, I got to start eating my own dog food because this has just been excellent. Look at that. Very nice spike up. Let's look at the weekly chart to see if there's anywhere to buy it. You know, it isn't really, you can't really buy this, but here's the thing. I would wait for it to pull back possibly to about 46. If it reverses after 46, you could buy it. You could still buy it at this level. It looks like it's bounced off the 40-day line, but definitely difficult to buy it at this level. I'm afraid you're going to have to watch this one. Wait to see if this forms a base, and then you could buy it. But this is just all around excellent. Nice sales increase. Just just really good. Out of these two, Keon, I think you got to go with form factor. I think it's a little bit better than Uber. Nothing against Uber, but I just think that form factor seems to have the good chart and seems to have the chops. But I would wait list this one, wait for a reversal, and then maybe you could go into it at that level. I think, unfortunately, this is probably the last question because we have about 4 more minutes. I am really biting at the bit to sell Riot and take profits, and then buy back on a clip. I'm up 50% since the beginning. Do you think? Can you talk me out of doing something stupid? Absolutely. Hold it. I'm just telling you, hold this one. Here's what you want to do. Let's look at Riot Blockchain. You have done tremendous. RIOT, and of course, this is the blockchain company, and it's just been phenomenal. I mean, the fact that you're up this much is just a testament. That's really good. Here's the thing I would do on this one. Let's look at the weekly chart. Currently, it's trading at 28.90. Here's what I would do. I would set my stop loss. I wouldn't sell this thing. I would set my stop loss right about at this level, right at about $20.25. And you may even want to set it a little bit higher, but let's look at the daily chart. You may even want to set it a little bit higher than that. Maybe at, the ideal place to set your stop loss is going to be, about $20.25 or $20.50. So what I would do on this one is I would just hang on. I would set stop loss at $20.25 on Riot Blockchain, RIOT. So I'm going to put that out there on the chat for everybody. Thank you. That's a great question, by the way. That's an absolutely great question. I just think you ought to hold it. It's an excellent. You're in an excellent position. Here's the rule: if you're up more than 20% in less than 8 weeks, you want to hold it. If it takes more than 20 weeks to get up to that 20% gain, then I think you want to sell half of it. But you're definitely up more than 80% in 8 weeks. So I would hold this one and set that stop loss at about 20.25. So that is excellent. Congratulations. That's a great play. Let's see. Looking for some. What to do with Palantir? Said he just downgraded. I was in challenge Palantir. I got shaken out. I don't know. I've tried this one several times. I'm batting about 30% on this one. I'm probably gonna wait. It looks like it may pull back to the 40-day line. So I'm gonna look at this one. Here's the thing: if you're down more than 7%, I think you probably want to exit it. I think you probably want to exit. Oh, wait a minute! I'm getting some. I'm getting a feedback loop. Uh-oh. All right. Sorry about that on the feedback on the feedback loop. So there we go. I think that's I think that's going to give us a problem here. Hopefully. Okay. So now I think we got rid of that feedback loop. So I apologize with that. for that. I had the volume up on my my iPhone. All right. Well, it is almost time. It's been an hour, and I thank you very, very much, Harris, for that question. I'm going to take one last question from TikTok, and then that's probably going to be it for today. Let's see. All right. BYND, Beyond Meat. Well, I know that Beyond Meat is a perennial favorite for a lot of people, but it's just not doing well right now. I don't recommend it at this time. I just don't think Beyond Meat is going to give you the kind of thing you want to see there. So, unfortunately, Beyond Meat was sort of this summer's news, and unfortunately, it's the winter. So, sorry about that. Let's look at GME, Harold. Thank you for this one. GME, and let's see GameStop. Unfortunately, GameStop is unfortunately, look at this thing. I think this is a classic. I think we have a short squeeze on GameStop. That's at least what I'm seeing with this. That's kind of what I'm seeing here with this chart. It was going up, and then all of a sudden it just takes off to the moon, as you can see. This is a characteristic of a short squeeze. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there we go. And this is the short interest. So here's what's happened on that. And you can make money on these short squeezes, but this is not really investment grade, because what's happened is the shorts are having to come in and buy to cover their shorts. So my thing on this one, and it did have a huge Easter egg here. I do think this is a short squeeze. Let's look at some of the criteria. The checklist is still decent, 6 out of 9, and we do have increasing fund ownership. So I do believe this is a short squeeze. In short squeezes, you got to be very careful going in after them, because they typically will pull back. But short squeeze essentially is a short-term lack of people willing to sell shares, and I think that's the case here with GME, GameStop. All right. Well, thank you, everybody, for coming by, stopping by today, and taking a look. I'll be back tomorrow at 2:30. If you'd like to get on the action trade alerts to, because I do put out a lot of my trades this way, and I'm going to be, hopefully, putting more stuff out there. It's easy to subscribe. Just this is a subscription to YouTube. I'd really appreciate it if you did. YouTube.com/Dallas Trading Floor. And if you want to also subscribe to the action trade alerts, it's very, very easy to do, and they're all free. Just go to www.dallastradingfloor.com, and then you'll see where it says sign up for free action trade alerts.